a very productive, very educational, very enriched day, talking about policy, regulations, talking about practical things we need to do. From your perspective, as the project leader, where do you think, what are the highlights for you, and what do you take out of today?
Out of today, I think what is important for the people of the Eastern Cape, first and foremost, is to understand, the regulatory framework that governs the crop, as well as government efforts, to identify those legislation and acts that are problematic to enable cannabis development, and not only identified through Operation Pakisa, but to have a time-bound action that each department that is presiding over a certain legislation, they need to amend that legislation. And as you might have heard, then by doing that process, through the interim regulatory reform, we would be putting this ship on a steady and calm waters, because you don't want to have an uncertain regulatory framework, because no investor will come and invest in the sector in the province.
Right. So as project leader, I know we spoke a little bit this morning about the fact that we need a strong, focused team. Can you just talk a little bit about that? Why is that so important for this catalytic industry?
The integrated and focused team to advance the sector development is informed by the differentiated industrial value chains that can come out of this sector, which in my view is important that other departments at a provincial level carrying certain mandate, they need to be part of this team, as well as their state-owned entity, and that's the only way we can be able to provide an integrated support to prospective entrepreneurs that wish or they have identified opportunities around cannabis. That to me is so important, because if we as a province are to lead in cannabis development, we should act the part. And acting the part is freeing some of the other resources that human resources as well as financial resources syndicate those resources under one project management office that would sleep and eat cannabis development. And it would, having such an organization or institutional arrangement in the province, it will interface much more better with those national departments that are responsible for supporting certain pillars of the Cannabis Master Plan.
So let's assume that you have this team, this focused team that eats and sleeps cannabis. What do you think you'll be able to do within the next 6 months, within the next 18 months with this team? Assume that you've got the team.
The most important thing at ECRDA, we have been able to identify what we called a least complex industrial value chain that we can begin with. And that least complex industrial value chain that will not only mobilize the primary producers, the processors, as well as your other downstream actors, is that value chain that talks about your biofuel. Because remember, hemp is one of those agro feedstock that can be used for biofuel. It does not compete with your food crops. Instead of competing, it enhances and is a good rotational crop for the food crops, because hemp by its very nature is a nitrogen fixer. And more important, because hemp has got the highest carbon sequestration potential, by using hemp as a biofuel, we'll be able to leverage from International Carbon Fund, because the truth of the matter, we have heard yesterday the finance minister talking about how constrained is our fiscus. The reality of the matter is that this industry would be funded by foreign direct investment. And carbon funding provide us that opportunity of financing this industry.
So again, lastly, the Premier has spoken about the Eastern Cape being the cannabis hub of South Africa. You can even take it wider than that in terms of the continent. But just what does that statement signify to you?
That's the Premier's statement. I'm in full agreement with our statement. That statement is founded on the fact that people in Pondoland, your indigenous cannabis growers, have been growing, cannabis using land races. Land races are cannabis strains that have already localized and acclimatized under our agroclimatic conditions. So those crops, they behave and perform under our climatic condition, and they are a source of a genetic material. We can use that genetic material to produce quite a variety of hemp seed for different type of your application. Yes, historically, the cannabis, indigenous cannabis land race was to fit for the recreational, market. But now we can look at opportunities around your medicinal market as well as your industrial market. And owning the seed, I've been told, I'm not an agriculturalist. People in agriculture, they always tell me that who owns the seed owns the industry. And because we have that land race, we can own the seed. When we own the seed, it means we will greatly reduce the input cost around this particular sector and enable the full development of the sector in the province.
And then lastly, any last words, any last thoughts for you as you reflect on this successful dialogue?
This is the beginning of the dialogue, and this beginning is informed by the different interpretation that you have, out there. And our responsibility as government is to share knowledge to people of what is allowable within the constraints of our laws. In that way, we'll be able to managing the expectation by being truthful to our people. And I hope if we as a province have the same information, same knowledge around the constraint and what can be possibly done, around this, sector, we will then be able to have one single, investment mobilization message to say to investors, this is what we have as a comparative and competitive advantage as a province. That to me is the most important thing, that we should take home moving forward.
So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Look forward to further engagement.
Thank you so much.